There was a time in my life where I thought the people that I saw online, the people that I saw inspiring others, having tremendous amounts of energy, were people that, frankly, I could never be. People that I would observe share an inkling of their passion, their persistence, their grandeur, but in the end, still a passive bystander, an observer. I never thought to myself that in my immediate environment, in my community, in my family, that I would allow myself to be this type of observer. So to a degree, I suppose, I figured there is potential hidden. There is latent potential in me. And many of us, I believe, feel that same way. The reason I started Terabify is to inspire those individuals to get up, take action, and move beyond our initial conceptions of ourselves, the biases, the chains that hold us down. And I realized that the biggest thing, one of the biggest things at least, that will help release you from the bounds of your own imagination, of your own insight, is actually being granted permission. Psychologically safe environments, I've made a video on in the past, are incredibly useful for fostering, for nurturing hidden talent, latent talent. Something I've been thinking about a lot as I have moved into my role as a dentist in real life, and I have the ability to now affect my office, my workplace, a place that makes money, which in a lot of people's minds, including myself, means a substantial situation in life, something where a real impact can be made, where the well-being of people matter, albeit perhaps a illusion. Because the harder thing to do in life is probably taking care of yourself outside of the context of being financially better off. Now, I speak to you in this house that doesn't belong to me. It belongs to my mother. And frankly speaking, it has humbled me drastically to see her struggle, to see her persist. Gary Vee talks a lot about immigrants and the struggles that they have to face and how much inspiration that ends up giving their children, the people in their life. My mother is no exception. She tends to circumvent the ideologies of average people and tends to move beyond the comprehensible, the understandable, the latent view, the passive view of things. And it's instilled within me a philosophy that, hey, you want to go and get something in the world, go get it. But she is not the one that gave me permission. Not necessarily. The people that gave me permission are people that I chose afterwards. My friends, my role models, my mentors. Those people's permission mattered to me because I had the choice of allowing them into my life and allowing them into my brain in order to hopefully make myself more interesting as an individual, but also just to have some fun, some genuine fun in life. Now, permission. I wanted to talk about this concept in terms of bringing out our latent potential. Permission is very important, but it needs to be from the right person. Meaning, if someone you do not respect grants you the permission to come to their table, grant you the permission to have a conversation with them, well, how much does it really matter to you? A small victory, sure. But someone on a pedestal, say a girl you like, a guy you like, say a famous person, say someone that you think you want to be like, when they give you permission to be the greatest possible, to step outside of the bounds, your conceptions, your potential misconceptions of what you are capable of, to allow yourself to feel that freedom that is required for us to make a real impact in life, in our life, and the lives of others. That permission, I believe, is an enormous boon to our capabilities, our self-concept. And the reason is because there was a quote I read a long time ago: become the person that others think you are. Most of the time, what others think we are is often less than we are, because what we present of ourselves is only a fraction of the truth, only a fraction of potentially what we know about ourselves. So the conception of others often is limiting often. But that's because we're talking about most people. When I say people, most people want you to do well in life, but they do not want you to do better than them. And this will come through in small things that people do around you. Little things like, oh, that's not possible. Little things like laughing at your aspirations. Little things like saying, that's not realistic. Now, I suppose some sort of logic is warranted, but the older I grow and the more persistent I get, the more I realized being irrational, being almost childish in our approach in life is actually one of the most satisfying ways to live. As we were when we were children, excited about things, wanting to learn, wanting to see new things, smiling with the depth of our souls, crying with the depth of our souls, perhaps having an unrealistic view of the world is a better way to live a more satisfying life. That is at least the conclusion I'm slowly getting to as I get older. And I remember talking once or twice with people that I respect and saying that I genuinely love to see older folks cackling like children, having this childish exuberance. People's actions also give us permission. I was watching a video of Wim Hof, the Iceman, the man that spends 3 hours in the cold and laughs it off and does some weird dances. And for many people, that's really strange, playing drums and having this kind of almost psychedelic feel about life. But the reality is, if someone does this again and again, if someone continues down this path, it actually gives other people permission to pursue that path as well. Out of safety, out of comfort, sure, but out of the love of the human soul, of saying that, hey, that person did it, it must be possible. Not only is it possible, but that person that I'm looking at shares a part of my soul, a part of my passion, and thus, potentially, it is my job to also do the same. Each one, teach one. So, permission. I'm not saying wait for it. I'm not saying that. Frankly speaking, permission matters the most when we have been persisting the most, when we have been sacrificing the most. Then permission really matters, because it is a release. It is a point of achievement through what Alex Hormozi calls the valley of despair. Points of refuge, oases, permission. Find this in your life. Pursue it through pursuing a goal. But think back in your life, already, I have been given permission to be myself so many times by people I respect, by my friends, by people that are willing to listen to me for half a second, by my mentor saying, Tarab, you're an enigma. You know, there is something beautiful about another person telling you what you are. Because though their perception might not be entirely realistic, though their perception might not be entirely all-encompassing, mature, it is a perception nonetheless. Something that exists in the universe that is presenting you a wall to bounce your ideas, your emotionality off of. Permission. It matters. It matters a lot. And my aspiration is to permit you to be the greatest possible that you can be. I make these videos every day because I have a mission to change the world. If you have a mission to change your community, your society, to instill a philosophy into the people around you, live that philosophy. Genuinely be that thing. I give you permission to be the most beautiful person that you are capable of being. Release all of the bounds that restrict you. Release the false humbleness, which is actually ego. Persist. And if you're a good person in society, if you are genuinely humble, if you are genuinely compassionate, then your energy deserves to be out here. Because it is much easier to be the alternative. It is much easier to be the alternative and very loud. It's time for the good people to get loud. Really though, humanity needs you, my friend. And if you need some more motivation, here's a video. Actualize your potential. The world needs you. Take care.